So, I haven't done a musing in a couple days. I've been busy working on my website. Um, it's go-authentic.com, go-authentic.com, where I'm going to be posting a lot of my content, my written content, and working on that has taken up a lot of my mental space. So when I'm in the mental space, there's not so much musing from the subconscious and from the heart. But anyways, this morning I have another musing about acceptance. And these are just the musings that come through my consciousness. It doesn't mean it's right for you, doesn't mean what you feel is wrong. I'm just expanding on an idea here, on something that I'm becoming aware of. Acceptance. There's many different levels of acceptance where acceptance can be applied. And in one regard that most of us are familiar with is to be accepted by God, right? To be accepted by Jesus. We all understand that, and we all love to be accepted by God. But I want to address acceptance from a different angle, from singularity, not from duality or where we are accepted by someone else, such as God, or what someone else is doing for us. When we think of in these terms, our mind is divided. It's not fully present in the singularity, in the oneness, awareness and consciousness of what and who we are. So I like to think of it from the singularity awareness of the one. I'm not seeking acceptance from God. I'm not seeking acceptance from something or someone outside of me. Most of us know how to do that. But the acceptance I am referring to here is how much of yourself can you accept? How self-accepting are you, right? And I like to put aside the thinking, the awareness level of, being accepted by another. And building my awareness, building my realm, my kingdom, just on the awareness of myself. Not what anyone else has done, not what Jesus has done, not what the ancestors have done. I'm trying not to split my awareness into all of these different entities. I'm just trying to keep it at home within myself. And how does the awareness shape around that? If no one ever did anything for me, if Jesus never existed, how would I shape my life and my awareness now? If I was the only one responsible for my life, how would acceptance look like? How would acceptance of my divinity look like? I know we're not used to thinking in this way, that of giving credit to anything we do. We've come from a conditioning, from tradition of where you don't give yourself any credit at all. Whatever you are is due to the credit of someone else. You had nothing to do with that. That's a very deep conditioning that I'm trying to uproot here by trying to form an awareness around what it feels like. What if I am truly, like we say, we are a fractal of God, we are the God consciousness fractaled out into individual humans. But at a larger perspective, what if I am the one that is responsible and should take credit for all that is taking place in my life? It's a neural rewrite, and a lot of us are going to be uncomfortable with it because of the conditioning into pride and arrogance and, all that stuff. But how do we redeem that? How do we redeem the self? How do we acknowledge the self? Where we don't have to always fall back on what someone else has done for us. Like Jesus is a big player in that. We literally function every day in the belief of what Jesus has done for us. There is no self-recognition. There is still a subtle belief that, we can't save ourselves. And that it took Jesus to open a portal. Yes, in some way it did, because we're all interconnected and all working at this together. But it wasn't just Jesus. Jesus couldn't have done anything on his own. He even said so. And without the Father, without the source consciousness, I can do nothing. And we are all source consciousness, so it's been a concerted effort. But I have a hard time articulating what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to break down this dependence on Jesus, the psychological grid that has been formed around Jesus. That Jesus was the Savior, that only because of Jesus do we get any kind of light or enlightenment. I want to break that down, at least within myself. I don't want to stay dependent on the credit of what someone else did. I'm talking in circles here. It's a hard thing to formulate. Forgive me for bumbling around like this. But maybe you get what I mean. Thinking of Jesus as the mediator is what keeps us separate from source consciousness. It keeps us always a notch below from claiming the very thing that Jesus claimed for himself, right? So I should be able to claim the very thing Jesus claimed without ever knowing of the life of Jesus. Because it's not flowing through Jesus, it's consciousness that is now coming through more and more because we are closer to the central sun.